What's the story, lads? Welcome back to Gaelic Games Fan TV. How is the form? How are we all getting on? So, here we are. The All-Ireland preliminary quarterfinals are taking place this weekend. A little bit of an unusual video, this. Currently on a holiday. You know, and I saw the preliminary round draw. Mayo versus Derry, Louth versus Cork, Tyrone obviously taking on Roscommon, and Galway versus Monaghan as well. And obviously, look, we're just going to do a quick preview. This is a little bit old school. I don't know if many people would have followed this channel back in 2018, 2019, back in the day when, of course, this is how I used to make the videos. Literally just turn on the camera, start ranting and raving, talking waffle, everything else. So, yeah, look, a little bit different, a little bit unusual. And I probably will be like this for a bit of a preview of the hurling action and next week as well. Going to Las Vegas next week. So, yeah, look, you probably could be, probably shouldn't be going away halfway through championship season, especially with the preliminary rounds. Quarterfinals obviously as well, flying back next Saturday. So yeah, Jesus, hopefully the Dubs are on the Sunday, lads. I mean, Jesus, I don't know what I'm going to do if they're on the Saturday. But anyway, look, let's preview the games, let's discuss the games, break them down and everything else. And we'll start with Mayo versus Derry. And for me, like, what a draw this is. I mean, you're talking about the best second place team versus the best third place team. Like, this was the best possible draw, in my opinion, that, the best possible game, best possible matchup we could have gotten, in all honesty. Like, yes, we wanted the Louth versus Derry scenario. Yes, we wanted the, Derry versus Tyrone scenario and the storyline and everything else. And I saw a few people say, like, this is the best possible outcome for Derry. I would have to disagree, to be honest with you. Like, don't get me wrong. The Louth game would have been a lot of emotion would have been involved there. But playing Louth on the back of a hammering versus Kerry, whereas playing Mayo, who just gave like a phenomenal performance to the Dubs, lads. Like, Mayo were absolutely brilliant that day. Like, let's not take anything away from it. And like, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, Mayo, a lot of those players that were in that Mayo team played in the 2020 All-Ireland final, played in the 2021 All-Ireland final. I backed them to win the All-Ireland last year, but I didn't just back them because of their league form, because of what had happened in the previous seasons. And look, I'm not saying they're going to go on an All-Ireland run or anything like that, but I think they're dangerous now, and I think they're definitely a team you don't want to be playing in those quarterfinals. Like, they're definitely a team you want to be avoiding. And even as a Dublin fan, I'm very, very grateful that we won't be able to play them in the quarterfinals because they can't be repeat pairing. So, but look, Derry are that. Like, if you had asked me to predict this game 3-4 weeks ago, you would have backed Derry. And Derry just have not looked right. Like, their performance against Westmeath was arguably the worst that we've seen. Like, it was so poor, lads. It was very, very poor. Not in the game at all. Shane McGuigan, very, very poor. Rogers, not good. Look, they were in the game, but they weren't really doing much in the game. Their first point from play after 16 minutes, the goal at the end, obviously from Emmett Bradley, their only score in a final 20. Look, they have to play better, because if they don't play better here and Mayo play how they played against Dublin, you're talking about a 6-7 point win for Mayo, realistically, especially being at home, McHale Park, everything else. But look, I will go for a Mayo win. I am going to back them. I think at home against Derry, I think they will be too strong. I think Derry just haven't looked right, lads. And like, how can you turn it around after the form that they were in? Like, if we're talking about potential, I do think Derry overall as a team probably are better than Mayo. Like, if you match 1 to 15, you go through all the players, you look at the midfield, Conor Glass, Brendan Rodgers, Chrissy McKaig at the back. You're looking at forwards, I think Lakeland Murray, Shane McGuigan, Paul Cassidy. I think Derry overall have a better overall forwards than what Mayo have. But Derry just haven't been performing recently. They have not been performing at all. And I just don't see a world where Mayo don't win this game, and I think they will do it. I'm going to go for a 3-point win, 4-point win for Mayo. It could honestly be more. Look, I'm hoping Derry turn up, because Mickey Hart won't be there next year if they lose this, lads. Like, let's be perfectly honest. Like, Mickey Hart will not be in charge of Derry, and it's a mad scenario. But yeah, I honestly can't look past a Mayo win. I think they're going to do it, and I think it's going to be a 3-point win. Looking at some of the other games, Louth versus Cork. Look, I think both of these two would have been very happy. Like, don't get me wrong, there is that scenario. Louth probably would have wanted Derry. But I think if you're matching it up on paper, two very, very even teams. I actually have no idea where this game is going to be played. I presume it won't be in RD. Might be in Park Talchin or Inishkeen, maybe Park Talchin. But Look, I think Louth, like, this is arguably the biggest game in Louth football since 2010, since the 2010 Leinster final. I think that's probably fair to say for Louth supporters, Louth fans, and Louth fans can disagree and let me know in the comments down below. But I think this is a massive, massive game. And then for Cork, like, this is an opportunity to get to a third consecutive All-Ireland quarter final, which is kind of mad when you think about it for a Division 2 team. But I probably, it's a hard one to call again. Like, you're looking at extra time could be on the agenda here. Louth obviously beat Cork earlier in the league. Cork obviously beat Louth in the championship last season. Like, it is two sides that are very, very evenly matched. I think Cork struggle when they come up against teams who sit in, who defend deep, who set up similarly to Cork in that sense. And I think Louth could do that, and I think that could frustrate the living daylights out of Cork. But to be honest with you, I probably would back Louth for this game. I think Louth have more than what it takes to win this game, to beat Cork. Like, for Cork though, like, I suppose they have been here. Like, they beat Louth obviously a couple of years ago in the championship as well. I think that might have been a prelim game or something like that, or maybe that, I think they played Louth and Limerick back to back. But I think with Louth, like, with the form that, you know, you look at Conor Grimes, Sam Leroy, the form that these lads are in. Look, the defeat to Kerry, that would have knocked the stuffing out of them. Like, for them to have been beaten that badly, I think is a little bit worrying. Cork on the other hand side though, like, it was a big win against Donegal, but it was also a demoralising defeat for them against Tyrone. So it's a massive opportunity. Like, will either of these two progress beyond the quarter final? Probably not. But I think for the year that's in it, for how much that Louth have put in it, how much Jared Brennan has put in it, I think Louth will do it, and I think they'll probably do it by 2 points. I think I'll go with a 2-point win. Looking at Tyrone versus Roscommon, obviously a massive game as well. I mean, for the Rossies in general, to get their first win of the year, obviously beating Cavan, absolutely massive. Obviously from a Tyrone perspective, or from a Roscommon perspective, obviously to get that win. Tyrone have obviously been motoring along. Whoa, this is bouncing all over the place. Tyrone have obviously been motoring along very, very nicely, obviously as well, having beaten Cork the last day. Like, Tyrone are a team with potential. Tyrone are definitely a team that in a few years' time, I think you're going to see probably the best out of them in terms of Darragh Canavan, Kieran Daly. I think Roscommon have gotten better, in fairness. Like, they have improved. Their win obviously over Cavan was absolutely huge. Their performance against Dublin as well, in fairness, I thought was very, very good. And even like, to be fair, even against Mayo, they were a little bit unlucky that day as well. Like, they had multiple chances to potentially win that game. But I think Tyrone at home, I think the home advantage is absolutely crucial there from a Tyrone perspective. I think after beating Cork as well, like, to be fair to Tyrone, they are finding a little bit of consistency. Like, they probably are always one result or one bad game away from an absolute crisis, and you never really know what's going to happen with them. But I think at home to Roscommon, I probably would fancy them, in all honesty, to nick it. Probably by a point, probably by 2. But again though, I think the Rossies do have a fair chance here, and I wouldn't be entirely surprised if they were to pull off the upset. But I think I would have to back Tyrone here. I think I'll go with a 2-point win for the Red Hand. As for Galway versus Monaghan, to be fair, I think this probably will be the most comfortable result, I think, of the weekend. In all honesty, like, I think Monaghan, you know, like, the fact that they even let Meath back into the game in the way that they did, like, the fact they even made that game more of a match and everything else, like, towards the end, like, Meath obviously chipping away a couple of scores. I think it was more about, you know, Monaghan letting Meath back into the game as opposed to Meath's brilliance. And I think Galway are very dangerous, in fairness. I think at home as well, they were very unlucky obviously against Armagh. Like, they haven't lost the game obviously in the championship. I think they do have one of the best defences in the championship so far this year as well. Obviously 1 goal conceded, and that was against Armagh, obviously with the Conor Gleeson mistake. So I think this one will be a bit more comfortable. I'd probably go 5 or 6 points in all honesty. I think Galway, to be fair, do have a few injuries. Obviously no Sean Kelly there, no Damien Comer. But look, Shane Walsh is kicking into gear. Like, he's in the absolute form of his life. And look, Monaghan, you can never write them off. You can never back against them. They're always a team that tend to rise up on the big occasion. But in all honesty, I couldn't go against Galway here. I think Galway should be far too strong with the home advantage and everything else. So I think we'll go with the 5-point win there for Galway. But look, who knows? It could be closer, but I would have to go with Galway. I think they'll be fairly comfortable there. But anyway, lads, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this one up here. For anyone who did tune in, do hit the like button and subscribe if you could. Very much helps the channel out. And yeah, obviously a bit of a different preview and everything else. A little bit unusual this, but do let us know your predictions, your comments down below. Let us know what you think for this weekend's games, and yeah, we'll do a bit more of a preview, obviously, for the hurling games and for some of the football, obviously, next weekend. All-Ireland quarterfinals as well, so definitely going to be absolutely huge. So, yeah, anyone who tuned in, do hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you all again.